I've studied thousands of the best websites on the internet to find what makes them work, and I'm going to give you the 5 main tips that you can use to start designing next level websites, including the secret that the best designers in the world use to make sure you can design websites that are not only pretty, but actually convert. So let's get started with tip number 1, KISS. Keep it simple, stupid. This is a golden rule of design. A lot of websites, they try to be everything at the same time. They try to pack so much information in such a short amount of space. However, the best websites, they create a story while you scroll. The best visuals support the text. And the best way to share information is to make it bite-sized so it's easily digestive. We can take a look, for example, at Apple's website at the Mac Mini page. As soon as you get in, you have this nice little animation that brings the Mac Mini. However, most of it right now is white space. And while you scroll, it starts creating this story of the device. It starts giving you the specs, starts giving you small bits of information little by little. Because Apple knows that if they try to pack a lot of information in a short amount of space, you are just going to ignore everything. Our brains are very lazy, so it just tends to ignore when there's these big blobs of text and information. The best way is to create this story and have little by little information. Which brings us to tip number 2, which is strong typography. Here is 2 examples of saying the same thing. Which one do you think it's easier to read? I would say the right one, of course. Having these contrasts between titles, text, and having this clear hierarchy makes it way easier to read and way easier to understand information. And of these 2, which one do you think it has more personality? I would say the one on the right. The type of font that you choose, it's way more important than a lot of people tend to care. It creates hierarchy, it makes it easier to understand and to read, and it gives more personality on your website. One of the biggest mistakes I see is ignoring how important typography is in a website. Choosing a good font with defined hierarchies throughout the website will increase legibility, make it easier to read, and make the overall structure of the website easier to navigate. We'll talk more about this when we get to the secret that distinguishes okay websites from amazing ones, that can 5x conversions and make you a better designer so you can start charging more for your work. Let's talk about tip number 3, breathing space. This comes as a buddy as tip number 1. A website is not a piece of paper where you have a short amount of space to place all your information. Scroll is free. Use it. People don't read websites, they skim through them. So create an experience that makes it easy to understand by having a lot of breathing space between sections, texts, images, not to overload our brains with information. We can have a look at a website that's I consider a bad example. As you can see, you get on the landing page and there's so much information at the same time. Like everything here is so together and there's barely any distinction between the text. There's so much things that are not really well explained. Like there's a video here, but like, is this whole video AI generated? Is she AI generated? Or is it just like kind of like an editing? And then you come down and like you scroll to it and there's like so much information all at the same time. Your brain just kind of ignores everything like while you scroll. But there's a good thing about these websites, which is social proof. They show a lot of social proof around the website, all these logos and 1,288 brands. So this takes us to tip number 4, which is social proof. The same way that we assume a restaurant is good if we see a big line outside, we trust what other people have to say when we want to buy something online. So a website should include that in the experience. There are a lot of ways to show social proof on your website, from testimonials, reviews, showing that there is already a number of users or clients, showing partnerships, anything that makes it look more credible and gives trust to people, you should include it on the website. Social proof should be across the whole website, but it's very important to have it at the start and close to decision-making sections like the pricing section, the contact section, or to the call to actions to help influence people's decisions to take action in your favor. And before we dive into the secret that joins all of this together, let's talk about tip number 5, which is call to action. A strong call to action makes the whole difference in a website. You should ask yourself, what is the goal of this website, and make it as easy as possible to achieve. If you want people to sign up for your mailing list, if you want people to get on a call with you, if you want to get more sales or users, a well-done call to action, a well-done CTA is essential for improving conversions. And that takes us to the secret that so many people forget that makes a whole difference on a website. The secret that makes you become from an okay designer to an expert designer, which is tip number 6, structure. The secret to designing a website that actually converts is not only having all the things that we talked before. You should think about what is your main goal and how to structure a website in a way that everything leads you there. And nothing is just filling space. All the information, images, text, colors have a purpose. For example, the goal on my website is to get people on a call. I don't think my website is perfect, and there's a few things that I would still like to change, and part of designers to always be changing or work itself. But on a website, my goal is to get people on a call because that is where I can show how much value working with me can bring. In my my case, it would be very rare for people just to instantly book a service from me without talking with me first. So I make it as easy as possible across the website for potential clients to book a call. For example, there's a button to book a call here. There's a button to book a call here. On the pricing itself, there's a button to book a call, like a call to action to book a call in the end of the website. And then at the footer itself, I have my calendar here that you can book a call directly to make it as easy as possible for people to book a call, because that's the goal on my website. A website should be like taking people on a story. You don't just try to sell them and say that you're the best and expect people to buy. You have to go through their pain points and give them a positive experience. So let's remember: 1, keep it simple, stupid. 2, typography is important. Don't forget it. 3, leave lots of breathing space on the website. Don't try to cramp everything because people will just ignore all the information. 4, include social proof everywhere. 5, have strong call to actions. And the secret, define what is the goal of your website. And everything in your website should be structured in a way that leads you directly to the goal and makes it very easy to achieve. If you like this video, give a like, subscribe, and I'll see you on the next one.